Hello my viewer, welcome back to Kids Crochet, and today we are working on these beautiful placemats. Yeah, it's very beautiful and I'm liking it. So are you ready to do this? Let's get to it. Karibu sana. These are the materials that we need. We need these two colors. This one is for the starting point and the outermost part, and this is for the body, if I can call it. And then I'm using this hook, which is 2.5. I don't know if you can see this. 2.5 and a pair of scissors. So now we start by making a slip knot. And we make a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and we slip stitch on the beginning chain so that we make a ring. We make a chain of 3, and now inside this ring we are going to work puff stitches. So inside here we are going to make 6 puffs, and this is how to do this. You yarn over, go through that ring, take up yarn, and you make sure it is the same height as the chain 3. Again, the second time, 2, 3 and 4. All right, if you're a beginner you can just do it slowly. So you hold your work tightly so that some loops here do not come down. You yarn over and you go through everything on the hook. You chain 1 to close that, and there is our puff. So now we chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Again we make another puff, 1, 2, 3 and 4. You yarn over and go through everything that is on the hook. All right, again we chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we are going to repeat this until we have 6 puffs. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and go through everything that is on the hook. So these are 3, work 3 more, and make sure you chain 4 between each puff and the other. So I have my puffs, 6 of them, and now again I chain 4 as usual, and I slip stitch inside the first puff on top of this first puff. Right there I slip stitch. So now I'm going to change color, so I chain 1 and cut this yarn. Like that. So now using the second color, I'm going to attach it at the same point. So I attach the yarn here and I chain 3. All right, so I'm going to make a puff just as we were doing. So I do a puff, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I yarn over and go through everything on the hook. I chain 1 to close that. So I again chain 1, and at the same point where I did the puff, I'm going to do another puff. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I close everything. I chain 1 to close that puff. So now in this one puff of the previous row, I've done 2. So now here we chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and in the next puff on top of it we work 2 puffs as we did here, separated by chain 1 or chain 2. So we make the first one, we close everything, we chain 1 to close that, and another chain to separate this puff and the other one. So again we do another puff, one, 2, and 3, and we continue making 2 puffs in each puff of the previous row, separated by chain 1. After you close with a chain 1, you make another chain to separate the 2 puffs, and then between 2 sets of puffs, between this and this, we have a chain 3. So you continue that and we meet on the other side. So I've done all the puffs, and to close this I've done a chain 3 as usual. And so now between the first 2 puffs, between the chain 1 space, I slip stitch there to complete that, and this is how it looks. All right, so now we chain 3, and in the space between these 2 puffs here, we work 2 puffs also, separated by chain 1. We close, we chain 1, and we make another puff. We close that and we chain 3, and now in the chain 3 of the previous row we are going to work double crochets, and we are going to do 3 of them. So inside that we work 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. All right, again we chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. In the next space between these 2 puffs, again we make 2 puffs separated by a chain 1. So we close that and chain 1 and we make another puff. 1, 2, 3 and 4. We close and we chain 1 to close that. Again we chain 3, and in this chain we make 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. We chain 3 and we continue doing this until we get on the other side. So we make puffs where there are puffs, and where there is chain stitch we make 3 double crochets, and I meet you on the other side. I'm at the end of the row and I slip stitch between these 2 puffs, the beginning puffs. So I slip stitch between the chain 1. I chain 3, and in that space I make puffs, 2 of them separated by chain 1. It's just repeating the previous row. Close and chain 1, and I do another puff. I close that. I make a chain of 3, and now in this space between this puff and these 3 double crochets I'm going to make a double crochet, and then on each double crochet I'm going to make a double crochet. So I do 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Again in this space between these 3 double crochets and the next puffs I make a double crochet. So now as you can see I have added this double crochet and another one here. We had 3 and now we have 5. So wherever there are double crochets we will be adding 2 in the starting and at the end of that. So we chain 3 and we make 2 puffs, just what we've been doing. We make 2 puffs separated by a chain 1. We close that and chain 1 and make another puff. We close that and chain 3, and now we repeat what we did here. We make 1 double crochet here, 3 doubles and another one here. Remember to make a double crochet here. This is to increase. We want it to start going outward. So in every row we shall be adding 2 double crochets. So we chain 3 and we work 2 puffs here, and basically this is a repeat throughout this row. So make puffs where there are puffs, and where there are double crochets ensure that you do an increase by making a double crochet before the doubles and after, and I meet you on the other side. I'm at the end of the row, and as usual we slip stitch in the space between the first two puffs. We chain 3 and we make 2 puffs in the space between puffs, separated by a chain 1. Again we chain 3, and as we did in the previous row, we are going to do a double crochet here and work these ones as the yarn and another one at the end of here. So in the previous row we had 5, so in this row we are going to add 2 to make that 7. So you continue doing this, and if you are new here, please subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. So I've worked that. I'm going to work the last double crochet here. I chain 3 and I repeat this process to the end of this row and repeat for other rows. For this I'm going to do 5 rows, 1 2 3, so we make other 2 rows repeating the same process, making puffs where there are puffs and double crochets where there are double crochets, increasing on the sides. Okay, so do that and I meet you with your desired size. You can make it big or small, and I meet you when you have your size. So I've now completed my rows. They are 1 2 3 4 5, and so from here we want now to start. This was going outwardly, and now we want to curve in so that it forms that shape. I hope you get it. So now from here I've done my slip stitch like we were doing before. This is just to continue. So now I make a chain of 3 and I work what we were doing on the puff stitches. So I do 2 puffs separated by a chain 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I do my first puff, I close and chain 1, I do another puff, I close and chain 3 as usual. So now where we were doing a double crochet here on this space, we are now going to do 1 puff. All right, so we do a puff there, and we chain 1 to close it. So now instead of working the double crochets how we were working, so now we want to do a reduction. We were doing an increment in every row. So now to do a reduction, we are going to skip the first double crochet. We chain 3, we skip this first double crochet, and on the second we work a normal double crochet. We work the rest as they are double crochets until we are left with the last one. So the last one we are not going to work, so we continue working the double crochets and we are going to reduce this by 2 as we were increasing by 2, because we are skipping the first double crochet and the last. So you work until you are left with 1 double crochet. So here I'm left with this one. So I'm not going to work this, I'm going to chain 3, skip that double crochet, and in this space I'm going to work a puff stitch, just 1. Alright, I close everything and chain 1 to close there. I chain 3, and where there are 2 puffs I'm going to work it normally as you were working before. So I work a puff, chain 1 to close, chain another, do another 1 chain and make another puff. Close that by a chain 3. In this space we are going to work as we worked here. We work 1 puff, we close and chain 1, and we just repeat this to the end of the row. Alright, so we chain 3, we skip the first double crochet to the next, we work a double crochet, we work double crochets until we are left with 1 double crochet. So I'm almost there, and this is the last double crochet. So this one I'm not working, I chain 3, and in this space I work a puff stitch. Chain 1 to close, chain 3, and between these 2 puffs I also do 2 puffs separated by a chain 1. So you just continue repeating this to the end of the row. Make sure you skip the first and the last double crochets because we are doing reductions, and ensure in the space between these doubles and the puffs, in this space you work a puff, just 1. So we chain 3 and work that puff. So continue doing this, and I meet you at the end of this row on this other side to show you what to do next. Continue doing this. I'm on the other side of this row and I've done my last puff and chain 3. So now I slip stitch as usual, I chain 3, and now we want to go to the next row. So now from here we work puffs as usual, 2 puffs separated by a chain 1, close that, make the chain, make the second puff, close and chain 3. So now between these puffs and this one puff of the previous row, there is this space. Again, we are going to do one puff. We chain 3. There is also this space between this puff and double crochets. We also do one puff. We chain 3, and as the previous row, as we skipped this first double crochet, so we also skip this first and we work to the second double crochet, and we work double crochets until we are left with only one double crochet. So I'm left with only one double crochet to do, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to chain 3, and in this space I work a puff stitch. I chain 3. In this other puff I skip this puff, and in the next space I work a puff. I close and I chain 3, and now I come to the 2 puffs. I work them as normally. And now from here I'm going to repeat the whole process again to the end. Alright, we've done those 2 puffs, so in this space 1 puff, again in this space 1 puff, skip the first and the last double crochets and work the middle as they are, and continue doing all that. And when you get to the other side, I will meet you there to show you what next. I'm on the other side, so we do the slip stitch, chain 3, and in the same space we work puffs, chain 1 and work another puff, chain 3, and in this space, this one and this other one, we are going to do 1 puff each. So it is just repeating the previous row, and we do what we did here. After puff, chain 3. In the next space here we work another puff, chain 3 and work another puff, chain 3, and we skip the first and the last double crochet, so every row we are reducing 2 double crochets. We are doing a reduction of 2 double crochets as we add puffs. Okay, so we skip the last double crochet. In this space we chain 3, and in this space we work a puff, chain 3. In the next space we work a puff, chain 3. In the next space we work a puff, and we continue doing this until we get to the end of the row. And when we finish this row, we do a slip stitch and do another row until we are left with only 3 double crochets here. Right now they are 5, so we are going to do this row and the next one, which we are going to reduce 2 double crochets and be left with only 3 doubles as we started, so that now the shape is complete. Okay, so you do this row and the next, repeating this process, and I meet you when you have 3 double crochets on the double areas. I'm at the end of this row on this other side, and as you can see there is also another pattern which is forming. This pattern, the one for the puffs. So now I've slip stitched and made a chain of 3. So now we are just going to repeat the same process, but now when we come to the double crochets, the 3 of them, we are going to single crochet on the one at the middle. Okay, so we make puffs. It's just repeating the whole process. Just what we were doing in the previous rows. You continue doing this and I meet you where there are double crochets. So we are going to single crochet on the middle double crochet. So we just single crochet there, we make a chain of 3 and we continue with the whole process again. Alright, so you continue doing this to the end of the row and I meet you on that other side as we do the last row of this. Alright, so continue doing this and I meet you on that other side. So I've come at the end of the row and now we want to do the last the last row, and we are going to finish it with the starting color, the one that we started here. So as we slip stitch, we attach the new color. So we attach it there, and as usual we tie a knot 3 times. Just to make sure that that is all secured. And now we cut all that. So here we are going to chain 3 and we are going to make 1 puff between these 2 puffs. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. we close that. Okay, in this next puff here, we work a single crochet and then we pull this out, okay, and we do a puff there. Sorry, we are pulling this so that the puff or the this chain is going to be at the same level as the puff. You see, now they are on the same level. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We close that, we chain 1. Okay, we slip stitch on top of the next puff. Sorry, not slip stitch, but single crochet. You single crochet and pull that out and make a puff there. Right, you finish that and you close. You single crochet on the next and pull. So basically you repeat this and I meet you where we have done this single crochet on the previous row to show you what to do. So I've reached where there is that single crochet. So in this puff I did a puff, and as we were doing on the previous rows, on the previous stitches, we are going also to work a single crochet there. All right, and we prolong like we did and work a puff. We close that, we single crochet on top of the next puff, we do that, and so we continue doing that all around and we meet you where we started. So something I want to show you, when you come to the point where we have 2 puffs, you just slip stitch in single crochet in between them and you work 1 puff, not 2. All right, I just thought that this might confuse, so you just work 1 puff as we did with the beginning. So you just work 1 puff and then you continue doing the rest. All right, so continue doing that until you get to the other side. So now I'm at the end of this round, and so we slip stitch, okay, where we started. We slip stitch there, we chain 1 and cut our yarn. We hide this excess yarn, and then we cut that, and here we have our finished placemat. This is the finishing, and this is the pattern. We have this, we have this shape. Now we have this one which looks like a tree, right? Yeah, and that is for this tutorial. So thank you so much for viewing this to the end. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and give this video a comment down below. So thank you so much and God bless you. Bye for now.